Welcome back, everybody. This book review is on 100 plus practical tools to defeat depression by me, Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. As with all of my books, you can read this one for free with Amazon Kindle Unlimited. Unlike Journey to Recovery, which is a really long book with a lot of activities and designed to go in depth into a lot of things, 100 plus practical tools to defeat depression, I wrote it more as what I might call a bathroom reader, for lack of a better term. I tried to make each section short, 1 to 3 pages, provide practical tools or activities that people could do, something that they could read and chunk and do a little bit every single day. In this book, I start out by helping people explore mindfulness, what makes them tick, and what they need in their life to create a rich and meaningful life. And that's different for everybody. People need to sit down and think about, what is it that's important to me? The next section explores the function of emotions that trigger or accompany depression, like anger, anxiety, guilt, or grief. When we're angry or anxious for too long, we are revved up and we can start feeling hopeless and helpless to change the situation. We feel like it may not end, which is where depression starts to come in. Guilt and grief both have depressive aspects to them as well. It's important that we not only address just the general malaise that we call depression, but also what's causing that and what the functions of those emotions are. All emotions are normal. We have those emotions. It's our body's early response system telling us that, hey, you need to take a look at something. If we have an emotion, we feel happy. That's our body going, that's something you probably want to do again. If we have an emotion of fear, our body is saying there might be something out there that's a problem, that is threatening, that could be dangerous to you. You need to check it out. Our emotions are not designed to tell us for certain what's going on. They're designed to alert us that there might be an issue. Techniques to manage emotions, including embracing the dialectics, adding happiness triggers, and distress tolerance skills, is the next section. And obviously each one of those is its own little 2 or 3 page section to help people figure out what ways work best for them to manage their unpleasant emotions. Emotions happen. Accepting that they happen. I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling guilty, I'm feeling depressed. Okay, now what? How can I improve the next moment? And that differs between each person, which is why I provide a variety of different activities and interventions for people to try to find things that work for them. The next section focuses on techniques to help people adjust their thinking, including optimism, cognitive restructuring, and changing their unhelpful thoughts, or what we call cognitive distortions. When we are negative Nellies, when we have a negative view of the world, when we're in a negative mindset, we tend to see things that are negative. We interpret things in a negative light, which increases our anxiety, it increases our anger, it increases our depression. When we adjust our thinking to include optimism, I'm not saying ignore the negative, I'm saying balance it. Look for the good and the bad in situations. It can help us feel less hopeless, less helpless, which means less depressed. The next section is on self-esteem enhancement. When we don't feel good about ourselves, then we can feel unlovable and we can feel depressed. We can feel disempowered if we don't feel like we're capable of doing things. It contributes to that sense of helplessness, which is characteristic of depression. Self-esteem is really important. Feeling like you deserve to be loved, not only by others, but also you deserve to be loved by yourself, can help allay some of that depression when you feel good about yourself. Think about how happy it makes people feel when you tell them, I love you. I think about, even my dog is happy when I tell him how much I love him. He just gets all kinds of happy. We need to be loved. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. And once we start feeling that we deserve it, then depression may start to lift. Time management is another skill that can help people reduce stress and anxiety and irritability and that sense of feeling overwhelmed and hopeless all the time, like they're never going to get caught up, they're never going to have time to do anything fun, they're never blah blah blah. Time management is really important in health and mental health, not just to defeat depression, but in having our happiest life. We can get too caught up in things we got to do for work, in doing the chores around the house. It's important for people to schedule in, if necessary, their relaxation and their happy time. Goal setting is another thing that's important. When we set goals and we don't accomplish them, it really hurts our self-esteem. When we set goals and don't accomplish them, we can feel helpless and hopeless, like nothing will change, and get depressed. Setting smart, effective goals is really important, and I go step by step through helping people set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-limited goals, which is abbreviated SMART goals. The next section, you know how important I think physical health is to mental health. When we are feeling depressed, our thyroid hormones, our sex hormones may be out of whack. Our sleep is probably disrupted. Our pain levels are probably going up, and all of those things are related. When we are under stress, and any type of stress, depression, anxiety, anger, yada yada, our threat response system, or our HPA axis, is activated, which tells our body that it is not time to rest, it's not time to relax, it's not time to reproduce, it is time to fight or flee. If we get stuck in that loop, then we can get worn down and start feeling exhausted and depressed and irritable all the time. Physical health interventions can help people reset their circadian rhythms, reset their sleep schedule. It's amazing how much improvement that we see in studies as well as in the clinic when people start getting adequate quality sleep every night. The next section focuses on enhancing social relationships for support and connection. Sometimes we need emotional support, sometimes we need practical support like help moving, but sometimes it's just nice to have social relationships for that connection. Somebody you can talk to, you can enjoy, you can share different things that you have in common, and just feel like, you know, there's somebody out there like you. You're not isolated, or you're not, you know, a unicorn somewhere. Finally, I end by talking about how the environment impacts your mood and what to do about it. Think about when you've been in an environment that has been dark, cluttered, stinky. Those are my three biggies. That does awful things to my mood. I get really irritable if I am in that kind of environment for too terribly long. That's not what I want to wake up to. That's not what I want to go to sleep to. I like order. Some people may say I like order too much, but I am aware of what helps me feel happy and less stressed in my environment. I'm also aware of the fact that, you know, using principles of feng shui, it's really important to address things that might cause tension in your environment. For example, if you have a house and you don't have blinds on any of the windows, there is a little part back in your amygdala that goes, that's not so safe. Even if you feel like you're safe in your neighborhood and maybe you live in the middle of the woods, so the only people who are going to see you are the bears and the deer, there's a little part in the back of your amygdala that tells you that if you can't see out, or if people can see in, then you're more vulnerable. That's just that primitive wiring that we've got. Does it mean that everybody should put up blinds on all their windows? Not necessarily. If that's not something that you want to do, that might make you feel more trapped or enclosed. But it's one of those things to consider. I do talk a lot about smells, aromatherapy, feng shui, and other ways to enhance the environment in order to increase feelings of happiness. It's hard to be depressed and happy at the same time. A lot of what I talk about is helping you understand where the depression is coming from and address that, but also at the same time enhance your happiness, enhance the things in your life that are worthwhile and that bring you joy and that help you feel calm and relaxed. Remember, you can read this for free on Amazon Kindle Unlimited, or you can also buy the Kindle version or the hard copy version at amazon.com.